Hey, this is Mark Moore, aka Tuxedo Mark, at various places on the internet. It's 9:52 a.m. according to the computer clock on Thursday, June 5th, 2014. And in this vlog, I'm going to be talking about X-Men Days of Future Past. I went to see it on May 28th. Come on, focus. Anyway, I've seen every X-Men film in the theater except for the Wolverine, and actually I haven't seen the Wolverine yet, but I did see the post-credits scene that set up this film. For whatever reason, I had delayed and procrastinated on going to see the Wolverine in the theater, and I just missed out on it. But anyway, so this film, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But here's the thing: it's kind of like in with X-Men First Class, where I enjoyed it. It was a good film, except it disrespected what came before, where they contradicted a lot of the stuff that had been shown in the previous films. But anyway, this film helps somewhat because it shows that Xavier had been using a serum to help him walk, and also it was originally used by Hank McCoy to control his beast tendencies so he won't beast out. This could explain Hank's non-beast appearance prior to The Last Stand. It could also explain how Xavier was able to walk in the 1980s flashback at the beginning of The Last Stand, and also in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Okay, so maybe, okay, whatever. But alright, so this thing involves a like a post-apocalyptic future. I assume it takes place in like 2023, so 9 years from now. Basically, what happened was this one guy, I forget his name at the moment, I think it starts with a T, but this one scientist dude back in 1973 had created the Sentinels. And what happened was Congress wasn't going to approve the program. It was to, hunt down mutants, basically. Congress wasn't going to approve it, but then Mystique assassinated the guy, and she got caught, and mutants were exposed to the world. They used her DNA to create the Super Sentinels of the future, and the Sentinels basically targeted and wiped out not only mutants, but also any humans that carried the X gene that might someday give birth to someone that might give birth to someone that might become a mutant. See the problem? So basically, the whole world's gone to crap. The few surviving mutants are avoiding the Sentinels. Logan, well, first of all, Xavier has the idea to have Kitty project his mind back in time, because apparently she can do that. Why it was never brought up before, I don't know. She could project a person's consciousness back in time into their own younger bodies. Okay, sure. So, Xavier volunteers for this. Kitty says, I can send someone back a few weeks, but sending you back, 50 years you're not going to be able to survive. Logan can survive. He's got mutant healing abilities, so he's like, I'll do it. He gets put unconscious or whatever, and as long as he's not awake, he's back there. And when he wakes up, he'll wake up in whatever alternate timeline that he's created. And apparently he will be the only one that remembers the original time. I hate time travel stories. This one is like stupider than most, but I don't understand why the time traveler would be unaffected and why they would remember the original version of events and how they avoid paradoxes. Whatever. Let's move on. So, Logan gets sent back to his younger self in 1973. Stuff happens. He has to track down Xavier, who's, addicted to the stuff that can help him walk. It helps him walk at the expense of his psychic powers. Logan has to tell Xavier what's going on, help him get himself together, get Beast. They get some guy named Quicksilver who moves really fast, and they go and bust Magneto out from a prison under the Pentagon. Sure, why not? Because apparently Magneto was the second shooter in the JFK assassination, even though he says he was trying to save JFK because he was really a mutant like us. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. That's my feeling throughout a lot of this movie. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. Anyway, mutants get exposed in this conference in Paris that officially, I forget what it's called, where they officially put an end to the Vietnam War. They get outed on television. Mystique doesn't kill the guy. The Sentinel program is approved. Nixon gives the go-ahead, and I forget everything that happens, but basically, near the end, in the future, the Sentinels are closing in because time's moving in real time on both sides, apparently. I think. And they're trying to hold out to give Logan enough time in the past to do what he has to do. At one point, it's weird. Logan saw Stryker, and he got really upset, and his consciousness, I guess, got displaced, and his past consciousness took over, and he had no idea where he was. I guess when you go back in time like this, your past consciousness falls unconscious, and your present consciousness takes over. Okay, whatever. So, but that's only momentary, and then President Logan reasserts himself in his past body, and Xavier tries to reach Mystique to have her not go through with the assassination. There's this ceremony on a White House lawn where Nixon's unveiling the Sentinels and stuff, and there's an attack. Magneto picks up like a sports stadium and lifts it up out of the ground, and has it encircle the White House, and Nixon and everyone go into a bunker. I'm trying to remember exactly what happens, but turns out it wasn't Nixon there. It was Mystique in disguise, and she's about to kill that scientist dude. Xavier reaches out to her and convinces her to not do it, to basically be the good guy on world television while the world is watching her. She does. She spares the guy's life, and the headline in the newspaper is that the president was saved by a mutant, which is true. So the Sentinel program is scrapped, and the horrible dystopian future doesn't happen. Logan had fallen into the river, I guess. I think into Potomac, I'm not sure, but when he wakes up, he's back in, I guess, 2023, but it's the 2023 that's a result of his actions in the past. So, he's in Xavier's school, which is thriving. So Xavier is, running the school. Everything's okay. Everyone's there. Kelsey Grammer makes a quick appearance as Beast. Storm's there. Jean Grey is there. Scott is there. You see, Kitty is I believe Kitty's there. Yeah, she was throughout the film, so I assume she's there too. I don't recall specifically. Rogue is there. Now, Rogue apparently had a larger part in this film, and it was cut during post-production. Apparently, the special effects for her scenes are being finished up so that could be on the home video release. Whether it'll be deleted scenes or an extended edition, I'm not sure, but anyway. So, the thing with Jean and Scott being there, obviously, X-Men The Last Stand now never happened. But it goes beyond that. Basically, almost none of the previous films have happened in this new timeline. From what I can tell, X-Men First Class happened, and I would assume all of the historical scenes up through the Vietnam War from X-Men Origins Wolverine happened. And the 1973 films, the 1973 scenes from this film happened. And nothing else happened. Everything else has been wiped out of continuity. So what can you say of that? I mean, I'm happy that Jean Grey is alive again, or never died. I'm happy about that, but it's like, so was there no conflict at all for the past 14 years or I guess 23 years, 2000 to 2023. So that's it. I mean, when did all of the fighting stop exactly, and how did Rogue end up at Xavier's school? And because Logan was originally, she was traveling with Logan. It's like, I'm not gonna bother trying to figure all of this out, but happy ending, that's the point. Post credits, there's a teaser for X-Men Apocalypse. I didn't understand it, but I'm not a comic geek, so I don't read the comics that these films are based on. I just like seeing the films. all that I know about the Marvel characters I learned through these films, pretty much. What else? There's this funny bit where Wolverine walks through metal detector, and he stops and looks back at it for a moment. That got a laugh out of the audience, because he's surprised why he didn't set it off, because he doesn't have the metal claws, he's got the bone claws. Obviously this would be pre Weapon X program. Now, regarding that, at the end of the film, it shows Logan in 1973 being rescued and being brought up on a ship, and apparently Stryker is there. But it's not Stryker, it's Mystique in disguise. So, what, Logan's gonna be hanging out with Mystique in the past? Where does that lead up to? Well, we know it leads up to a happy ending in 2023. I mean, no matter what they do in the next film, which I guess X-Men Apocalypse is supposed to be set in the 1980s, but doesn't matter what they do. Happy ending. What else? I couldn't take that midget scientist dude seriously as a big threat. I mean, if I was Mystique, I wouldn't try to assassinate him in public like that. Like, I would just find a. I would hang out at his office. She disguised herself as him at one point. I mean, she could have hung out at his office and waited for him to return and killed him privately. Problem solved. I mean, jeez. Now, one thing that I don't understand, if we accept that First Class is part of the normal history and it's not an altered timeline, and if we try to come up with explanations why to fix all the continuity problems between First Class and the rest of the films, then why was this Sentinel program never mentioned? Why have we never seen the Sentinels except for that Danger Room simulation at the beginning of The Last Stand? This has never been brought up before. And even, in the Wolverine, in the scene at the end of the Wolverine that sets up this film with Xavier and Magneto coming to talk to Logan in the airport, it's like, there's been no indication that the Sentinels are going to wipe out humanity. I mean, we know when the Wolverine takes place. I mean, we could guess last year, like 2013. So between 2013 and 2023, somehow the world goes to crap, but it's not been forecasted up to this point. Okay? There's been no indication that the Sentinels... Well, first of all, there's been no indication of the Sentinels' existence, but there's been no indication that these Sentinels are exterminating pretty much everyone. Mutants and ancestors of potential mutants. It's like, you would think that things would have been a lot more chaotic at this point already. It's like, what? I mean, whatever. The whole movie's a magic reset button, basically. It's like a soft reboot of the series, where, in this case, soft reboot means pretty much everything that we've seen never happened. Kind of like the new Star Trek series. Enterprise counts, nothing else does. What else? Oh yeah, considering that the ending of the Wolverine set this up, I've never seen a film set up a future film that completely wipes it out from continuity. The Wolverine set up a film that wiped the Wolverine from continuity. Anyway, it's an enjoyable film. Go and see it. It's just happy ending. Okay, that's it. It's 10:12 a.m. and that's it. Thanks for watching. Oh, just turned 10:13 a.m.